Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Ear to the Ground Music YouTube channel. Uh, I did a video recently where I talked about our SoundCloud, so I wanted to do a video today discussing some tips on how to get more traction from your Spotify release. We have had some folks contact us about this and talk a little bit about it. So I thought, hey, maybe others have a similar question and maybe we can help them as well. So if you don't know, Ear to the Ground is a music blog, and we get hundreds of songs sent to us every week, and we have to filter through those and curate content. And one of the ways that we do that, we're very small on Spotify. Most of our traffic is on our main blog, eartothegroundmusic.co. But we do have a few playlists and uh, social media presence in various places. But what I wanted to talk about is, like, from your perspective, if you are a singer-songwriter, you're a musician, you're a band, and you're trying to release your new music, what are some tips from my experience as sort of not in PR, as a kind of critic, but also alongside bands watching this process? Basically, some things I've seen that have worked and some things that I've seen that haven't worked. Number one, I think it's really important to have a lead single if you have an album that you're releasing. And that lead single, although it's tempting to find like the biggest bop that you have on the album, you probably should choose a song that is indicative of the rest of the album. So if there's something that captures your sound well, that would be good. I would also say avoid, when you're selecting your single, avoid anything that would reduce people's willingness to play it. And what I mean by that is if it's particularly graphic in one way or another, or has anything that would be offensive, then that better be your brand. Don't put forth the outlier. If you're usually very family friendly, but you've got one song about your ex where you just really go in, that's not the lead single. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. All right. Number two, make playlists and put your music on the playlists. I know this seems a little gimmicky, but you really should do this and put your song at the top, not necessarily the first song, but within those first 3 to 5, put your track in, and make sure that the ones that you're associating your music with are bands or artists that you want to be associated with. And then instead of calling it, you know, something that is just the genre, singer songwriter list, which I've been known to do that. If you look over here on the left side, you can see 2001 singer songwriters. I'm not very creative on that list, but I have this other one, the coffee shop playlist. Why? Because people know what it's like to go to a coffee shop. They like to go to coffee shops. They like to listen to music in coffee shops. And if you have a sound and a brand that is associated with something like that, great. If your music is the EDM dance party, well, okay, then maybe an EDM dance party list makes sense. Uh, Even though you want to be promoting your music, other people want to be consuming music they enjoy. If those things intersect, then we're in a good spot. But people aren't going to search necessarily genre based. Think about what people might have, what might catch their eye. Oh, coffee shop. Well, I'm definitely in the mood for a cup of coffee. Something along those lines. Think about that. And share these lists that you make. Don't just make one and put your music on it. Make several and spread them out. So if you've got friend groups, you've got a friend group that you game with, you've got a friend group that it's a book club, you've got a friend group that you went to high school together, you haven't really talked to them in a long time. If you just say, hey, check out my single, okay, they might do that. They might do that just out of sheer love for you. But if you say, hey, I put my song on this playlist, I think you'll really like the whole list. Like, if you wouldn't mind playing this whole playlist while you're working, while you're cleaning your house, while you're going for a run, something like that. Essentially, where you're not just asking them to do you a favor, you're doing a favor for them. Hey, I made this playlist. I mean, one of my songs. Full disclosure, one of my songs is on it, but I made this playlist. I thought you might enjoy it. Was thinking of you, right? Those are things, and you don't want to be cheesy about it. Don't be disingenuous about it, but do it to help other people and get those playlists out there in different places. Share them, share them, share them. And one thing about social media, people discount this. You share if you share it with a specific person, there's a very good chance they're going to click on it, but also your mutual friends will see it. The algorithms like that, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, any of those algorithms like those mutual connections. So other people will see who you're sharing it with, and maybe other people will say, well, I'd be interested in a coffee shop playlist. I'll check that out, right? And you get that curiosity there, and you get people to click. Um, Another thing is mood playlists. Now, I know that Spotify does these in their own algorithmically created things, but I suggest that you do this with your music for two reasons. One, for the same reason I've just been talking about, it gives you another opportunity to share. These are love songs, these are sad songs, these are happy songs, these are songs for when you don't want to get out of bed. Whatever. Like, make it, be creative with these things, and think about part of, you know, connecting what makes your music unique to what you're creating as a playlist. And there's the second reason why it's so powerful. It will make you look at your music differently and listen to it differently. It's not so much about how you're going to use the song, but it makes you think, oh yeah, that one is really good for a drive. Like, this is a driving song. So put it on put together. These don't have to be long playlists. Make it like a 10-song coastal drive playlist. Put your song with other music that either inspired you to write it, or other music that you're just vibing right now. Throw those on there. Over time, you might want to rotate a few of the songs through, but you want people to follow the playlist and listen to it regularly. So don't change the core elements of the list, but rotate your stuff through, and you might find, okay, on my album, I actually have a few songs that are this mood and a few songs that are that mood. What does that say about the album itself? Uh, Curating these lists will help you reflect on your own music. Number 5, this is something that I don't fully understand. Maybe a PR person can drop a comment on the video and help me understand this, but please don't embargo your music when you're trying to release it. Please don't block it. If you are in promo mode, the music is written, it's recorded, it's mixed, it is ready to be out there. Don't say, oh, but you can't listen to it for a month. Unless you are top of the game, Bruno Mars holding back on your next hit single, like, okay, people might wait in line for that. But if you are an emerging artist with a couple dozen or even a couple hundred fans, and you say, hey guys, we have new music coming up. Okay, all right, that's fine to tease it a little on social media, but don't block it. Don't embargo it. If you got them to click to get to your Spotify page, they're looking at your playlist, they're looking at your artist page, whatever. You don't want them to be blocked from listening to the music. Or worse, I see this a fair bit. You drum up all this support, and then somebody finally ends up on your page, and what do they see? A song from 3 years ago, because your new stuff isn't out yet. Is that really what if you're working to drive traffic, you need to have something new for them. You need to have it's essentially a product, right? Your music is a product, and you as a creator are a small business. And so you get people to the store and you say, "Oh yeah, we have a big sale next week. Yeah, come back." Who does? Nobody does that. The businesses don't do that. If they've got a big sale, they've got the stuff piled up. Here, check it out. Look, buy this. Right? That's Listen to this. You've got them there. Don't block it. Don't roll things out until they're ready, but then once they're out, have it ready. Have it everywhere. Put it on your social media. Put it out there. Put reactions. Take clips of any media you get. Oh, wow. Ear to the Ground said my music sounds like a smooth, silky, whatever. Quote that, throw that on social, promote the heck out of it once it's there. And of course, what you'll be doing along with that is plugging your playlists. The last thing, this one is a little harsher. I guess I could have put this in the middle instead of ending on it, but avoid predatory companies. Okay, avoid predatory companies. There are people who will promise you thousands of plays. There are people who will promise you thousands of followers in exchange for your hard-earned money. Money that you have not yet made on this music, money that you are probably taking out of your own pocket, and they are predatory. They are promising something that comes from a bot. It is from a server farm, and they're not real people really listening, which is why my initial advice is to grow organically. If for some reason you are doing these types of things and no one is following, and no one is liking, and no one is sharing your music, and no one is telling their friends about your music, and no one says, "Wow, I really like that song. I am, it's a part of my life now." If you know that hundreds, maybe thousands of people have listened to your song, but it isn't catching on in the way you wanted it to, one, you need to amend your expectations. Two, you need to think about the characteristics of the song that might make it that way. Is your voice not for everyone? Is your chord progression a bit too experimental? Is it slow? Is it boring? Is it too fast? Is it too frantic? Is it too avant-garde? When you consider what makes a song popular, uh, sometimes it is because it's creative and different and stands out from the crowd. And sometimes it is because it follows a formula and people like the formula. So what I'm trying to say is, if you feel like this is the song, this is the one, and I need to promote it, okay, great, do that. But if it doesn't catch on, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad song. I've covered music with, you know, single digit plays that was some of the best music I heard in the year. And I've seen music with hundreds of thousands of plays that I thought was not very good. It was subpar quality. So figuring out what is your market, who's in your market, what they can, what they're willing to listen to, and maybe realizing that the this it's not worth it to throw what they call good money after bad, right? If a song is falling flat, it may be time to pull that one and try something else. It doesn't mean you pull it off of Spotify and whatnot. It doesn't mean that you never uh, listen to it or share it or want to promote it, but it means you might not want to put a ton of resources into it if it's not getting. There's always this promise that the next deal, the next one is going to be the one that's going to make me famous, that's going to make me take off. And if your expectation is, I don't know, a few thousand plays, Or maybe your expectation is to move into a new market, right? Maybe you're in one city and you say, I'm going to push this new release in the neighboring big city because I'd really like to build a following there. So you do some targeted social media, some targeted playlist development in a particular place. That could be a measurable, attainable goal that is much more than, let's just release a song to the wild and hope that millions of people love it. Temper your expectations, target what you're doing, and be responsive to the results that you're getting. Good results, do more of that. Bad results, do less of that. Right? I don't mean to oversimplify things, but I think some of these ideas will hopefully help some of you all. If you try some of this, you want to come back to the video and leave a little comment down below, or if you've already tried some of these and have had various levels of success, also let me know on that. But I'm just here to say we've seen people roll out a lot of different campaigns over the years, and Spotify shows how many plays they're getting, and big time artists with small time numbers and small time artists with big time numbers. So I'm just trying to help you out with a bit of what I've seen that seems to do pretty well. Just last, under promise, over deliver. If you are looking to get your music featured on playlists by people like us, curator playlists, uh, the best tool that I recommend for that is submithub.com. If you are a folk artist and you sort by genre, you will see Ear to the Ground Music on there as a 10 out of 10 genre match. My best advice, and this is borrowed from the founder of Submit Hub himself, Jason Grishkoff, my best advice when you are submitting is send to blogs that have a history of covering your genre and see what they have to say. They're the ones who know the state of that genre and can help you with it. So I won't take up any more of your time. Thank you so much for watching. Again, my name is Greg Jones. I'm co-editor of Ear to the Ground Music, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.